1 minute, let me share. Good morning, good evening, and good evening to all. I am founder Yatish Koil from Koil, founder B School, the B School for entrepreneurs and family business. Today, I got an opportunity to invite Professor BipinKumar Shah to take a masterclass on supply chain management. So today he will be speaking on just an overview about supply chain management. And in addition to that, he's having experience of 42 years with a rich experience and knowledge, as well as he already worked with Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited in India. So further, I would like to invite Professor Bipin Kumar Shah to come and introduce himself if I'm missing something and take over the session.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for introducing me. There is nothing left in my introduction. We'll straightway start our session, today's session. So, should I start presentation? Yeah. Good evening, all the participants who are listening me and who will be listening the recorded sessions. So, I'll start with today's presentation. So, Yatish, how do I operate this now? Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, it is working. You can do up and down.
No, it's not happening. It is not in presentation mode.
You close and you restart again.
What should I close now?
Close PPT and restart again in share mode. It is working. You can click on full screen.
And it is not going forward.
Uh, you close down the PPT and restart.
I have to close down the PPT.
PPT. Close down the PPT and restart.
I have closed down the PPT.
Yeah. Now you can again share it.
First, I will open the PPT.
Yeah.
I have to go to Windows, na?
Windows.
Put share.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it's come. It's come. It's come.
yeah. Now, Mr. Kuril, you want me that I should be talking or I should just start talking with the slides, with the help of slides?
Yeah, you can take the help of slide and give some example to the viewer.
Okay, okay. So they won't be able to see my face as such. Will
No,
that
they can see you. They can see you.
Acha. Good evening, all the participants who are listening to me and who would be listening to me through the recorded sessions. My name is BipinKumar Shah. After the brief introduction by my colleague, Dr. Yatish Kuril, I am happy to share my views on introduction to supply chain management. Supply chain management is a very vast subject and it is there from ancient times. Now you will ask me how why it is there from ancient times. We'll go through the definitions. What is the definition? Very simple definition you can see on the screen. Supply chain can be defined as a set of all activities associated with moving the goods from the raw material stage to the end users, meaning this existed in the past in ancient times, but in a local level, not on a global level, because at that time the transportation from one country to the other country used to happen by sea or nearby countries through the road, through the horseback, through the bullock carts, or through people walking and carrying them on the head. So it was confined to a local level, and the goods used to be moved from one place to another place for the business purpose. Now, SCM means not only logistics, it includes sourcing, procurement, production, inventory management, transportation, warehousing, and distribution. In short, this was SCM, the concept, or the concept was coined by Keith Oliver in 1982. That is what I have found out from my research. What is a supply chain? The next question will come to your mind. Supply chain is the flow of products from suppliers, intermediate product manufacturers, and product manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and customer. Meaning, let us see on the slide. One is the supplier, supplier of any goods or services. He supplies the raw material to the manufacturer. You can see the manufacturer, and then finished goods are moved from manufacturer to the distributors go down, and distributor sells it to the retailer, and retailer finally sells it to the customer. So the good in the raw material form is passed on to the manufacturer. In a finished form, it goes to the distributor, and from the distributor, it goes to the retailer, and then comes to the customer. Meaning, from manufacturer to the customer, the hands are changed, but the goods remain intact for the end use of the customer. That is nothing but supply chain management. Now, when did the supply chain management? As I have told you, in 82, it was the term was coined, but the actual concept is was developed by management guru Peter Drucker in the year 1962. His full name, management guru's full name is Peter Ferdinand Drucker. He has authored many books, articles, contributed to Modern Business Corporation, and a very great business thinker. So my tributes to this great man, the management guru, and the entire session I am dedicating to management guru Peter Drucker. Over the years, these functions of distribution, logistics, and integration of all the activities have gained significance. Let us see how it has gained significance. Evolution of supply chain. In 70s, 80s, as the cost pressure started to build up, many organizations started to see where they could cut the cost. Cost is the most important thing in a business. In a business, cost plays an important role, so that not only qualitative wise but price wise you should be competitive in the market without compromising on the cost. Initially, the intent was to optimize the level of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. These three things were only taken into concept in 70s and 80s, with the cost as a main focus area. I should get a good cost, at good cost, a good raw material, so that my end product will be a good, and work in progress again should be cost effective, and the finished good should meet the customer's requirement. Finally, the customer is the king. Evolution of supply chain. The early beginnings of the supply chain management can be traced to the apparel industry in USA. There, the manufacturers founded that the delivery time for apparel from raw material to the consumer took 66 weeks. Meaning, right from sourcing and procuring raw material, manufacturing the apparel, and moving it to customer end use, it took 66 weeks, and out of which 40 weeks were spent in the warehouse or transit. So these are the apparels. 66 weeks to manufacture apparel, brand it, and move it to the through the retailers to the distributors and retailers took 66 weeks. And in business, time plays a very important role, because nothing, time is the money, time is the essence of contract, and time is the essence of business. Again, we are coming to evolution of supply chain. Just to give you a view, what is supply chain? In order to overcome this problem, the strategy of quick response, meaning to bring down that 66 weeks, a quick response was developed. In this concept, the manufacturer and the supplier work together to respond more quickly to the consumer needs by sharing the information. Meaning what? Like, if the raw material for apparel is procured, sourced, and procured, and then it is manufactured into apparel, and apparel moves to the warehouse, there was a lead time of information delay in the information flowed from one end to another, and again from warehouse to distributor, and distributor to retailer. It took long time because consumer needs were not conveyed back to the distributor, retailer, and manufacturer, and so on and so forth. So the quick response, a strategy was developed that if the consumer, if in the market consumer requires certain quality of apparel, the information should go back in speed to the manufacturer so that he can make arrangements not only to procure the raw material but manufacture the goods according to the pulse or the requirement of the market and the consumers. Evolution of supply chain, as I have told, that 1970s was the era when material requirement planning, that is considered the real beginning of the supply chain practice. Material requirement planning, anything we require for manufacturing of product or generating a service, a proper planning was required. At that time, MRP concept was not only coined but followed. The idea of just in time or GIT emerged in the late 90s, in late 90s 70s, sorry, when the world was largely exposed to Japanese method of just in time manufacturing. What is just in time? Just in time is nothing but it minimizes the strategy to increase efficiency, bringing down your inventory in such a way that you get the product or services on your manufacturing floor without stacking or making a huge inventory, investing money. So the Japanese, they came out with this strategy just in time, and what it ensured: steady production, high quality workmanship, reliable suppliers. In just in time concept, your supplier should be reliable. They should be able to supply in time without going to the warehouses or stores. The material is delivered in a layman's term on the shop floor where the manufacturing takes place, and without compromising in the quality, so on and so forth. Organizations like Motorola, IBM, they also started following just in time, and at that time it was known as the Motorola concept of bringing down the lead time, the time taken right from procuring the goods, manufacturing, moving it to the distributor, moving it to retailer. They try to bring down, cut down the time so that they are very competitive and the goods move to the retailer's place at a very minimal time. This is just in time. In just in time, as you can see on the screen, there is a zero inventory. The lead time is cut down. It is a zero. There is a zero delay and zero failures. So, as I have told you, suppliers or the vendors in supply chain management are not vendors, they are the partners in progress. Today, the trend is that if you want to be successful as a businessman, your vendor becomes the partners in progress so that he can feel the pulse, he can study the market and move accordingly so that your end product reaches customer well in time to meet his demands. Goals of supply chain management. Supply chain management focuses on ensuring smooth flow from raw material to finished goods into the hands of customer, as we have discussed. Like raw material flowing from the market to the manufacturer, undergoing a manufacturing process, and from there, after meeting all the quality inspections, it moves to the distributor, and from distributor, moving to the retailer, and from retailer on display, the consumer purchases. See how many hands it has changed in the process. But while changing of the hands, there should not be any delay, no compromise on quality. That is known as the supply chain management, which means which meets the goals of the management. It is a concept that has helped in replacing the traditional approaches to buying, sorting, and moving goods. The traditional approach was okay, I buy the raw material, I sort, I manufacture, move it to the distributor or in the warehouse as and when there is a demand. I move it to the retailer, and from retailer it is sold. It took lot of time, but in supply chain management, the time is cut down to a greater extent, and we'll see how it happens. Like, what is the importance? The one question will come to your mind, and I am sure, and that is what I'm trying to cover. A few years ago, it's like in 70s, 80s, or rather 80s or late 70s, when I started procuring materials for my company in materials department, it was much more simpler. There were few set of vendors or a proper vendors, selected registered vendors, and you tender it out, go for telephonic quotation, procure it, put it in the warehouse, or give it to the online, and the products were very less, limited number of suppliers, as I have told you. That was the simple thing. However, there was development due to globalization. Lot of new brands came in, and concepts of business, conducting business, changed over the period of time. And with the technological innovations, what has happened? There is a lot of professional come, the markets expanded, business of the retailers grew. With this, the number of products and suppliers also went up. Taking over from apparel, 20, 30 years back, ready made, getting a purchasing a ready made apparel was not that popular as of today. People used to purchase cloth and get it stitched by a tailor. Now today, the tailors have gradually gone out of the market, where you will find only very few tailors in the market. You will have to actually hunt for the tailors. Now today, everything is a ready made, made to order. Made to order, you get it within no time, and you get a proper apparel of your choice. So this is a drastic change, if you can see, in 20, 30 years. Now the main question comes, people actually, many of them, they get confused between sourcing and buying. What is sourcing? Sourcing is the process of vetting, selecting, and managing suppliers who can provide the inputs to an organization needs for day-to-day running. Meaning, if you want to know the right source and pick up the right vendor, sourcing is a must. Selecting a proper vendor, as they say, right time, right price, right quality, right quantity, and right source. 5 R's in materials management. So that you should know a right source. Assuming you don't have a source, you walk into a grocery store asking for a mobile, he will laugh at you or you will go mad. The sourcing means you should know which are the good vendors, suppliers, or retailers available to purchase a mobile, then square down on a proper source, and your procurement process starts. And procurement is the process of acquiring the goods and services for an organization, and for an organization needs for its operations. So I made it very clear, sourcing is completely different from procurement. For the first stage of procurement is sourcing. The organization should have a good sourcing policy by which you get a good vendor, and if there is a good vendor, you can follow GIT concept very safely, just in time, because there the vendors are dedicated, the vendors are reliable, vendors maintain not only the right price, but in the right price they give a good quality and without any delay. So this is the main difference between sourcing and buying. Now let us see what was the traditional supply chain and what is demand driven supply chain as of today. Now, if you see from my right hand side, you will see raw materials, which is moving to manufacturers from factory. It used to take nearly 4 to 8 days to complete that entire purchasing activity. And at manufacturer's place, the manufacturing used to take place taking 1 or 2 days, 2 to 3 days roughly. And after manufacturing, it used to move to the manufacturer's warehouse or distributor's warehouse. There again, 2 to 3 days have gone. And from manufacturers warehouse, it goes to the retailer's warehouse, and from retailer's warehouse it goes to the retailer stores. The demand has spiked by 250 days. How much time it has taken? 10 to 18 days. 10 to 18 days means a lot. And as a businessman, you won't be able to survive if you take 10 to 18 days to meet a customer's demand. Now, what has happened over the period of time with the advent of supply chain management technology or the technology used? What has happened? How the time has come down? Raw material moving within 1 or 2 days to manufacturer, manufacturer from moving to manufacturer's warehouse, and manufacturer's warehouse it is moving to retailer warehouse, and thereon it goes to the customer within 4 to 8 days. And if you see real time, initially there never used to be a communication, proper communication. Now today there are software packages available, MRP packages or SAP packages. You get a real time information as to what is happening, and many of the vendors software or the programs are connected with the manufacturer, where the manufacturer can actually see what is the raw material available in his warehouse, so that he can place the order, take a purchase decision accordingly, which was not there in the past 2 decades back. Now but today with the advent of technology, the manufacturer or the businessman comes to know what is there in the retailer's place, what is there in his distributors go down, and what is there in my warehouse, and how he can move the fast material. And this helps to meet the consumers purchasing trends. Very confidently I can tell you, as to some festival is approaching, and there, when the festival approaches, there is lot of purchasing going on, and at that time the retailers showrooms are stacked with products, services, whatever you may be, knowing that what the customer wants and what is the latest trend. And this is possible because of the demand which is driven by the customer. And there the manufacturer or the business organization reads the pulse of the market, and accordingly he moves. So there is, if you see, the information is flowing from my left hand side in the demand driven to the right hand side, and from right hand side the products are moving to the left hand side. So that is how the entire concept of supply chain takes place to meet the organization goals. Now you see what is the importance. There were companies in the past who were facing majority of the problems of incurring high cost. To cut down this cost, they had to integrate a complete supply chain. When I was working, rather 2 3 years back, and prior to that in 70s 80s, the public sector companies had an inventory worth crores of rupees in each organization, because the trend was to buy, store the material. If there is a shortage, if there is a shortage of raw material, how to run my assembly line? The trend was a bigger warehouses with lot of raw material, so that I don't go dry. There should not be shutdown of the on the assembly line. I should be having the material. But today it is not the thing, because today the companies operate in a dynamic world. The buying habits and the demand is changing, which has increased the needs of the supply chain. Because today, with the help of technology or with the software, I can understand what is the buying habit, and demand is changing on day to day basis, which has increased the need of the supply chain. For example, I will tell you, there are a lot of pharma suppliers like NetMeds and other organizations who supply online medicines. They keep a track of lifestyle diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, hypertension. So in advance, they have a data. They call the retailer calls the patient and tells him, sir, your medicines are nearing to an end as per our record. Should I replenish? Should I send this material to your house? Because this data is readily available not only with the retailer. From retailer it goes to the pharma manufacturers, and there they have a data. This shop is selling so much of so much of so much medicines. So they manufacture in advance, or it is available in their warehouse, and from there it is moved through their chain to the retailer, pharma retailer store in your locality, or it is moved online by online supply or online purchasing. They move it in advance. So their artificial intelligence in today's world supply chain plays a very important role, because the demand of the customer is known to the manufacturer, and accordingly the entire manufacturing or entire designing of the goods or services takes place. Now, logistics. You must have heard this word or read this word. Logistically, that support was given. What is logistic? Logistic is not only transportation, it is a set of activities dedicated to the transformation and distribution of products from raw material sourcing to the final market distribution, as well as the related information flows. The logistics is not only in logistics today, which are the routes used. It is not only the land through road, but air, water, through courier. Lot of things are being utilized to move the material at the required speed, so that you meet the customer's demand. See to that your shelves are not, the shelves at the retailer place are not empty, it is replenished. Maybe you take FMCG products, fast moving consumer good products, or a branded products like Nestle, washing powder, surf washing powder. The representative of FMCG keeps on visiting the stores, or through his software he comes to know that last week only this retailer had purchased so many items of detergent powder. Now today's stock is so much. So he can read from his software as to what is happening and how fast I should replenish, because any shelf empty, meaning that supply chain is not working or they are not able to replenish the goods. So this is nothing but logistically traditionally logistics is not only it is not only transportation, but transformation of raw material to manufacture, as I have told you, manufacturing, moving it to the distributor go down or their go down, and from there go down to the retailer, so that the consumer can enjoy that product and services. That is nothing but logistics. What are the challenges in SCM? In supply chain management, reducing of the lead time. What is the lead time? In a simple way, in an organization requires, say, some stationery or some raw material. From the time the requisition comes from the shop floor or from the manufacturing or from the plant to the buyer who buys the raw material, the time taken between these two activities, meaning getting the requisition from the plant to the buyer. Traditionally it used to happen through notes, paper mail, or telephonically, or inter-office correspondence, or through the stock cards. Now it is through MRP packages, where the buyer daily comes to know what is the stock. According to the stocks are categorized A class, B class, C class. I won't go into that detail. So that the person who is buyer, he starts his procurement of sourcing activities, sourcing and then procurement. Because by the time he gets the requisition, either he'll go for a tender process, he'll go for telephonic, whatever are being the guidelines of the company, accordingly he will source it, place the order on the vendor. That raw material vendor moves it depending upon his availability to the manufacturer, or maybe it is a long lead time where the even the raw material requires to be collected or manufactured. So entire process, wherever the time is involved, that is a lead time. By the time it comes, it goes to the shop floor. The shop floor is vacant, or shop floor is idle, because the raw material is not there. That is the lead time. Internal lead time and external lead time. What is internal lead time? Internal lead time is the time taken from the shop floor in a manufacturing activity. By the time it reaches the buyer makes a purchasing decision and orders. That is the internal lead time. And what is the external lead time? By the time the order is placed on the vendor and the vendor supplies and comes into the unit, manufacturing unit, that is the external lead time. Even if the lead time, if the delivery time by the raw material vendor is more, that adds to the external lead time. Overall, the lead time is increased because the intimation was not given on time, or there was a delay. Now here what is happening in supply chain management, with the advent of technology, the lead time is drastically reduced. There are certain items which are procured or which are available on seasonal basis. So the in advance the orders are placed in time so that there is no shortage of the material or goods. Planning the planning the related changes. Your entire plan undergoes a change depending upon the lead time, depending upon the requirement, depending upon the change of the product. So planning happens seamlessly. And if the right vendor is sourced, then what happens? He gives you the most economical price without any delay, without any rejection. So there the cost is reduced. And the most important, as I have told you, supplier relationship management. That means the supplier has to be treated as a partner in your progress, because if the suppliers are not there, what happens? You will be flat. Entire your business will go for a fut. So you should have a very good working relationship with your vendor, so that he supplies you. There are many automobile companies whom I won't name. They have dedicated vendors who have been developed, trained to supply many small parts or bigger parts, and who are supplying them on time, so that your not only your car is assembled or manufactured, it is delivered at time to the customer. So basically these are the very simple examples what occurs, and how SCM addresses this issue. If you see a image, when you start and you reach to success, there are a lot of obstacles, and supply chain management, effective supply chain management, brings the obstacle very near, or rather removes the obstacle. And as a manufacturer, one succeeds in meeting the customer's demand, maintaining the brand image as a reliable brand in the market. I think I have made this very clear. Now let us study one agriculture supply chain. There are five flows. What happens? Like rice, wheat, any staple food you take, vegetables, they are grown by our dear farmers. India is a agriculture based country, where majority of the farmers, they live in the villages, tier 3, tier 2, tier 3 cities, tier 3, sorry, and in the small villages, whose source of income or whose livelihood is farming. They not only manufacture the vegetables, they manufacture grains, pulses, and many other items. Now, what happens after growing that that crop? They cut, and it is sold to agri-food industries or processors, or the distributors, or they go to the marketplace. There are mandis. They are picked up by this aggregators, processor, whatever it you name, or it goes to agri-food industry processors for processing, making in can. Let us take an example of grapes, which is grown in Nasik, and they are I think exported to countries like Italy, Paris, and other places where the wine is in demand, because that quality of grapes are grown at Nasik. Now, here, once the grapes are ready, it is sorted and it is moved through air to that industry at that place where the wine is produced in a simple way. And from there, it goes to the wholesaler. So, that agriculture produce from agri processor or from mandi goes to the wholesaler and distributors, and from there it comes to the retailers, and from retailer it comes to the consumer. Meaning, farmer what he produces is a upstream, and consumer which consumes the agriculture product, it is a downstream. What happens? There is a material flow from left hand side, with the information flow and financial flow up to the customer, because as the goods change the hand, there is not only information flow but the financial flow. And remember why I have taken agriculture supply chain, because here the lead time, the life of the agriculture product is quite less. It should be reaching very fresh in the hands of the consumer. If there is any delay, the entire yield of crop goes for a top spin. And what happens? If you see below, there is a flow, value flow, and risk flow. As I have told, if something goes wrong, there is a risk. or product not only getting damaged, they are they will get expired. So there is a value. Farmer is value, is adding value so that the customer gets the product. So naturally I have taken this agriculture supply chain, giving more importance, or the farmer is most important person in our country worldwide, because he grows the crops, he grows the cereals, pulses, whatever you name, or the fruits from his, after soiling very hard at his agriculture land, so that the consumer demands is met with. Seasonal, there are certain crops like mangoes, it is all seasonal, it comes during summer time. So at that time, they plan in advance. It moves to the food and industry processor for making a pulp, then goes to the wholesale distributors, retailers, and consumer. So if you see in the entire chain, what happens? One, two, three, four, five. Fifth is the consumer. Okay, he purchases the agriculture produce. Who grows? Farmers. There are other three intermediaries in the process. The finished fruits, the finished goods change hands without disturbing the quality of the product. So this is what I have given a small example of agriculture supply chain with the five flows. Aligning the supply chain with the business strategy. You may have a good marketing strategy, marketing management strategy in your place, but it will be incomplete if your supply chain is not robust enough to meet the strategy. Depending on the needs of the customer, a company's supply chain must deliver the right mix of responsiveness and with efficiency. Assuming a LED TV, a topmost brand, he knows customers what he require. The customer requires today a TV, LED TV with artificial intelligence. I am just giving a hypothetical example. So what happens? I touch the screen starts, there is a glow. I can change with the remote. The remote should be of very high quality with the latest technology, or I should be able to operate the TV with my mobile. So this is a demand. So this demand is met by a TV manufacturing company knowing the customers, what is the pulse of the customer today. The supply chain plays a very important role, because right from sourcing of the proper vendors who will be supplying raw materials to the TV manufacturer, assembling, testing, quality checks, and from quality checks, it goes to the distributor, and from distributor. Because why quality checks are important? Because at the end stage, the consumer should not face problem on account of quality, and at the same time, the manufacturer has to be very cost effective, so he should get that spare parts, he should get that workmanship at a very very economical price, so that he will be able to, the manufacturer will be able to compete in the marketplace. That is what is aligning marketing management with supply chain management. Both go hand in hand. Okay, a company whose supply chain allows it to meet the needs of the customer will gain the market share at the expense of other companies in the market, will also earn higher profits. That means, as a marketing company, if your supply chain management is robust, you are going to grow and your market share is going to increase. Now, I won't name, but there are many automobile manufacturers in sedan and hatchback. What is happening? They are coming out with the new models in day-to-day basis for the younger generation, because in India the population is young, they can afford, and lot of millennials are there who are earning a good salary and who are able to procure this on EMI or whatever it may be, the two wheelers or four wheelers, because that is the need of the hour for millennials or from the younger generation to purchase a high end or a vehicle which meets the requirement, or it becomes a style statement. I've taken this example. Or you take a food material, or you take a medicines, so where the supply chain plays a very important role, so that end consumer or a customer is able to procure medicines, able to procure automobile, able to procure grains or pulses. Like you take example of D Mart or Big Bazaar, Big Basket. What happens? They not only serve you online, but at brick and mortar store, that is like Dmart, they are having a brick and mortar stores. There you can go and pick up the goods of your choice at a very economical price with lot of ongoing discounts. Now, aligning the supply chain business management with a strategy, like Amazon. Amazon may not be manufacturer for all the items, but they have got a vendors who supply those items, who are aligned with them on their software. Assuming I am purchasing a book, autobiography, or any book, it is available on Amazon. What happens? I place a order on Amazon. Automatically, the order is fired. It goes to that manufacturer. It goes to their warehouse, or it goes to that manufacturer or the publisher of the book, who supplies to me, and all the time is cut down. I need not go to a bookstore unless and until I want to enjoy, read a book, just go through the books. I will go to a bookshop and try to spend some time. But Flipkart, Amazon, Big Basket, Big Bazaar, Flipkart, all these online businesses, virtual stores are moving the goods at breakneck speed. Or you take example of Pizza Hut or Swiggy. Swiggy don't have. They are aggregators, or they manage the entire supply chain management, going to the restaurant, picking up the things and delivering to you within 30 minutes. That is us aligning with the hotels, manufacturer. I'm talking about Swiggy, Zomato, so on and so forth. So that is, they have aligned. They are giving that supply chain support to the service providers and moving it to your doorstep. The customer who shops at convenience stores, malls, supermarket, his needs will be different from the customers who shop online. There are customers, majority of the customers. Now you will ask me why they want to go to a mall. There are certain customers, a majority of them, they want to enjoy touch and feel. I want to touch this TV rather than ordering online. I want to go and see how it operates, how it works, rather than watching it virtually. There is something which is known as touch and feel concept. Now, an Indian housewife, if she has to purchase a rice, because that is a perception, it's a perception. Wherever the rice is cheaper, in whichever shop, mom and pop store or the nearest kirana store, what happens? The lady of the house goes there, she picks up the raw rice and tries to taste it by biting it. And there she gets a feel, no, this rice is good. Of course, the biting of the rice or eating of the raw rice, it's not the taste as per ISI. Let me be very frank. But she wants to touch the rice. She wants to smell the rice, get that aroma, and then decide her purchasing decision, endorse her purchasing decision. Of course, the rice is available online for the customers who don't have time. They order on the online shopping. But here, there are customers who are ready to spend time, go to the mall. Of course, price is sometimes becomes primary or secondary. Sometimes some of them they are not worried about the discount, or some people are discount, and naturally, these malls or supermarket will also be running some scheme for discount or for promotion. But here also, moving the goods to that retailer in a mall is supported by a very good supply chain management. And here, the software installed at that manufacturer will exactly tell what type of customer he is, what are his needs, and what his needs, and it can give an indication to the customer, this is our new product coming in, see if you it meets your demand. The customers of convenience stores, malls want to enjoy the touch and feel of the product. As I've told, our services, location is one of the important criteria nearby, and they should have variety of products, and they should be able to not only enjoy movie, but able to munch the food of their liking in the cafeteria. So, but here the supply chain again plays a very important role. Now, let us see what are the supply chain systems. What is the flow and the process? The business processes in center is defined. There are suppliers. If you see, there are three suppliers. This is hypothetical explanation. The supplier, they move the finished goods or the raw material to business processes. There it is processed, and the finished products are moved to the customers. and the payment goes from the business process and to the suppliers. Customer pays to the business process, and business processes they pay to the supplier. So in all, if you see, there are a lot of actors. There are customers, there are business processes, there are suppliers, there are intermediaries, there is logistic chain to make the entire move the entire product from one end to another end without taking much time. Now, the most important fact remains there should be integration, close alignment, and coordination within a supply chain, often with the use of shared management information systems. Here, the information system plays a very important role in aligning not only your vendors with your vendor works, with the manufacturer, with the distributor, with the retailer, and to that of customer. So the close coordination plays a very important role, and different parties are engaged in the concept of supply chain integration. There are a lot of parties. These parties again play a major role in transferring the information at the right time, as I've told you, right time, to enhance the supply chain efficiency. Because sitting at one end, the manufacturer, the designer, the manufacturer ends get information what is happening at retail store, what is the stock, why it is not moving. So there they can take a corrective action or to move the material if it is a fast selling item. I think I am making myself very clear. And see how many what are the activities. Integrated supply chain management involves materials management, demand and lead time management, inventory management control, purchasing, supplying, customer analysis, order fulfillment, storage and transformation. And if you see, it is a customer analysis. The entire integrated supply management chain coordinates between one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight of them, 8, 10 of them to get a data centrally, and the processing starts there. I'll go one step ahead. The projected sales are also worked out. They decide what would be the projected sales now and what should I do to meet those demands of the customer. So this is nothing but supply chain integration in a simple way. And what are the benefits? Now in supply chain manage integration, what happens? I get a understanding of customers and better ability to serve them, more cost effective and efficient way where I increased my return on investment, and of course profit is the bottom line. Here the if your source is right and the vendor is okay, your wastage at the time of procurement is reduced, a- and even at the time of manufacturing there is a less of reducing of wastages. Again, anything wasted adds on to your balance sheet, with the result your profit line is getting hit. And as I've told you earlier, you have to keep up with demand and be more flexible to change the market needs. The manufacturer today, you have to sell. Other day I was sharing with what your customer wants. You cannot sell what you want to sell. As a manufacturer, I need not tell, okay, you purchase this brand of mobile or this is the thing. No, I should be able to read the customer's mind. Less risk and enhanced competitiveness. If the entire chain is integrated, that the risks are less and the competitiveness is more, and more the competition, best of the quality and best of the price, and better opportunity one gets because of the collective bargaining power. And overall, the main thing, one gets early warnings problems arising at any place. That is in some the benefits of supply chain integration. I think I have come to an end. My acknowledgements with gratitude to management guru Peter Drucker, my professors for guiding me during my management MBA days, and my bosses. I am acknowledging with gratitude their efforts to guide me. Information and many images have been sourced from the web. All my colleagues, current colleagues, past colleagues, and above all, Dr. Yatish Kuril for reinforcing me the faith and giving me an opportunity to share whatever little bit of knowledge, whatever I possess with you all. Thanks for your time and patience.
Thank you, sir. It was very good, insightful, and with you gave very good example while taking the session. I hope the people who are going to watch or watching may like this video. And in addition to that, I may encourage them to enroll for our postgraduate diploma in entrepreneurship and innovation management, where
Huh.
minimum eligibility criteria is 60% graduation level, and you will if and I hope the Professor Shah is one of the example as a good faculty. You will find similar kind of very good faculty who have experience and knowledge in this area, where they can teach you and groom you to a very build up your upskill you and build up capability and knowledge, so that you can start a very wonderful startup or take over your business.
Dr. Kuril, I have a request. There is one gentleman by the Shantanam Shah. He is not able to read the definition of SCM. If you can share the slides with him, I'll
Yeah,
send
you
you
can
the.
share. Yeah, you can share.
So what I'll do, I'll send you the presentation. You share it
Mm-hmm.
with whosoever you want, because there is nothing as such. There is a copyright involved in this. You can
Mm-hmm.
surely share the presentation.
Sure, sure.
If there is any question someone wants to ask, I'm ready to answer.
Because I can't see, no, I don't know, but they can leave the comments in the LinkedIn and as well as in Facebook or YouTube. So, is there any question? Then Professor Bipin Kumar Shah can revert back to you and solve your queries and doubts.
What I'll do, moment this thing is over, I'll send you the presentation by mail.
Sure, 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 sure.
Huh? Okay. Thanks, and
So,
my
so I
pranams
will.
for giving me an opportunity. Huh?
So I will. What I will do is I will play one more time one video, and the video ends. We will go. We will stop going live.
Okay. Should I leave now with your
No, no,
permission?
wait. Just wait for 30 seconds.
Yeah.